Hello, it's Kadisha. I'm back with another video. This is a topic that usually we, as a people, when we have a vision, we don't necessarily want to think about. We want the big, the big crowds, the big everything. And I'm not saying that we should have smaller visions. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I want us to realize that we could be the people who speak to a smaller audience. Everyone is not meant to have this big audience that they get to speak to. And now that we're in a social media age where you see the people who have this many followings, or so many people are supporting them, you're just thinking, oh, that must be the glamorous life. But we forget about Robert Williams, Mary Kate and Ashley. We forget about these people who had the big audiences, but wasn't pleased with how that actually went. And of course, these are celebrities, or these are well-known people, and not to say that you're not, or you will not be, because the Lord can use anybody. And what I'm really trying to get us to hone in on is that your take may be a smaller audience, and we need to be okay with that, because what we want is what God has for us. And God could have something really big. So this is not to limit God. No, no, by no means necessary. Don't limit God. However, it's just like, okay, I have to realize if I'm seeking a big audience for myself, I'm going to have to be the one who sustains that big audience. But if the Lord wants me to be able to speak to big audiences, then the Lord is going to place me in front of those people. And as His word says, I won't have to worry about what I'm going to do or what I'm going to say, because He's going to sustain me in that. I just think back to my pastor, where he talks about this guy who led him to the Lord. And we don't realize that it could be one person that we're meant to talk to. And we don't know what that, just being faithful with that one person, we don't know how their life will turn out. Because I don't know, you don't know my pastor, but well, you may know him, I don't know. My pastor, he speaks to hundreds of thousands of people, and I would even go to say millions of people. But he's not sure, the person who led him to the Lord, if he was the only person who, was led to the Lord by him. But it's just like, look at the impact that just one person had on another. And so that's what I want us to focus on. Focus on the God things. Also, when I was talking to my family about prayer, when we were on prayer, we were talking about our responsibilities, and our responsibilities is what we're doing in the dark. Oftentimes, we want everybody to see what we're doing. We want everybody to have a comment. We want everybody to say, like, good job, well done. But it's just like, I have to make sure this is what the Lord is saying for me to do. Am I doing what the Lord has called me to do in the dark? And He talks about, being unspotted from the world, uh, visiting fatherless and widows in their affliction. And this was just to name, just to name a few. This in James. It's like the Lord is calling us to more simple things that we oftentimes will overlook because we're in a social media age. But I want you to know that you may be called to a smaller audience, and to get faithful in that. I was listening to someone the other day, which I believe that the Lord will, bless them greatly. I really believe that, and I'm hoping that for them, because they still seem like they have a really pure heart. But it was more so like they were asking other people to fund God's mission, and that's not how God works. God owns everything. So I don't have to, if it's a God thing, I don't have to ask other people to fund what God is trying to get done in the earth, because the Lord is going to provide. And that's why I go back to saying, like, if it's something that I'm starting, if it's something that I'm trying to do, then I'm going to have to be the one to sustain it. And I went to a women's breakfast, and she said it so clearly. She said, when Jesus called Peter out on the water, because Jesus called him out on the water, when he decided to sink, Jesus was going to have to be the one to save him. And that was a word, because it's just like, when Jesus calls you to something and it fails, He is going to have to be the one to save you in that. But when we call ourselves to something, we want Jesus to save us. And it's like, Jesus didn't tell you to do that. Okay, I stepped out a little bit. I stepped out. But Jesus didn't call you to do that. Jesus wanted you to do this. So I just want us to get comfortable with doing what God has called us to do. And it may be small, it may look small, but it's not small in the eyes of God, because you don't know, the person that you touch could be the next president of the United States. And I don't want you to miss that opportunity because you were so busy trying to appease a big audience, when the Lord is like, no, I need you to speak to that person right there, because they're going to be the one running the world in 20 years. So I hope this is an eye opener for you, as it has been for me, because I'm like, okay, Lord, give me the kid that's about to be the next president, Lord, or the next senator, or the next whoever, the next pastor. I don't know, like, Lord, let me be faithful in that, because that's what I want. I want what you have for me, and I want all of it. I don't want what I want for me. I want what you want for me. But I hope you were able to grab some from this. Thank you so much for watching. Like I always say, saca mi que quieres ver en otros. Until next time, bye.